Hello, you're tuned into Coast to Coast Real Estate with Jacqueline Steib. This podcast will take us all across the globe as we learn the ins and outs of real estate from the industry's top advisors. Here we are now with Jacqueline Steib.
Welcome to Coast Real Estate, broadcasting simultaneously from Manhattan Beach, California, and the city of Reno, Nevada. In today's episode, you will get to know David Johnson from Sierra Sotheby's International Realty. Without any further ado, allow me to introduce you to Dave Johnson. Hi, David. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? I would much rather be in Manhattan Beach. I mean, Reno's great, but man, that's a nice spot.
Not too bad. Today, this whole weather has us.
Got your sweaters out?
A little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Did put on lots of layers during this time of the year.
Yeah, you got it rough over there. Poor
We're
thing.
Suffering. I can see you're wearing a sweater.
Yeah, it's not bad here. Today it's like sunny and I think 62 or something, so we're not doing bad. It's a very sunny climate here in Reno. So I like that.
We have the sunshine, the clouds are hanging out. We have a little bit of fog, but it's warm.
Yeah.
Remember, anything below 65 and we're freezing.
Yeah, call the news. It's 60. Uh-oh.
Wait, what happened? Where's the sunshine? We all like to hang around and just wear sandals. Hey, so tell our listeners, who are you? Who is David Johnson?
Well, that's a scary question. I am I guess my official title is Global Real Estate Advisor with Sierra Sotheby's International Realty here in Reno, Nevada. Been in real estate for, I guess, just 3 years now. Just celebrated my 3-year anniversary. And before that, I was in TV and radio and spent most of my life in Kansas City until fairly recently moving to Reno. And but yeah, let's see, about 10 years in TV news and then about 18 in radio before that. So I'm kind of an old broadcaster turned realtor, basically.
Hey, we're going the opposite way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm keeping my real estate profession, though. I'm not turning all the way into broadcast or anything like that.
Yeah, podcaster, broadcaster, it's all the same.
Just play, have fun with a microphone.
Yep.
Hey, tell me, what are the things that you love the most about Reno?
It's well, first of all, because I'm from the Midwest, I love it here because it's not humid. I mean, Kansas City can get brutally humid. I shouldn't say can get, it just basically is. Summers are just swampy and gross. And I mean, if you're going to have swampy weather where it's very humid, I'd rather have the beach right there with you. And unfortunately, in Kansas City, there's nothing like that at all. So I love the fact that Reno doesn't have that humidity, but at the same time, we still have 4 seasons, not as severe as some other parts of the country. So I love that fact. And I love, kind of it's an outdoor place. I've got 2 little monsters. One is almost 4 and the other is almost 2. So it's fun, for me and my wife and the kids to go for a walk or to Lake Tahoe, which is only about maybe a 30-minute drive from our house. So we've got a lot of outdoor options, which I love too.
That's one of the beautiful things about California too.
Yep. Yeah. You've got that ocean right there.
It's a couple minutes from my house. I'm very blessed and happy to be where I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you back to perhaps Kansas or I don't know, but tell me, what is your favorite childhood memory?
Oh, geez. I guess probably playing baseball. As a kid, I loved Little League and, had some decent success at it. And then by the way, Missouri boy, not a Kansas boy.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Oh, no, that's all right. People always get that confused. No problem. Because obviously Kansas City has a different word in there instead of Missouri. But no, I mean, I think Little League baseball was fun, and then played my freshman year of high school, and then late in my sophomore year to my junior is when I started in radio. So I started, pretty darn young, and ended up going half days in high school on a work release program. It sounded like I was in prison, but I wasn't. But I did half days in high school as like this, kind of a career thing. They used to call it COE, Cooperative Education, I think is what it stood for. And that was fun. So, yeah, I think Little League, baseball was fun. And ironically, just yesterday, my little son, Zach, just said to me, he goes, and again, he's 3, almost 4. He goes, Daddy, I want to play baseball with you. I was like, okay, let's party. So he's cute.
I can already see you throwing some pitches at him. Hopefully it won't be like I did when my boys were playing pony. My husband was the one coaching, but then, we have this machine, that medieval times machine that they use.
Geez.
It looks like a catapult.
Oh, the arm, the pitch. Yeah. I've seen those. Yeah.
Oh my God, that thing is brutal. I had the opportunity to try to pitch to some of the kids. I was the only one brave enough to use it against the kids. I did hit one kid right on the belly.
Whoops.
That was my whole season. I only hit one kid, so I did really good. I'm sure you will.
Yeah, you don't want to start hitting the kids. But I heard about your past though with your kids and all the acting and the commercials and all this stuff. I was like, wow, you've got quite the history.
They have an amazing resume, from Disney to Mercedes, lots of commercials, lots of fun things. And at some point I had to get myself out of that world and I needed just to go do my own thing. My oldest doesn't like so much for that because she still wants to do that, but we could still go back to it.
I think it's everybody in Southern California has some sort of connection to that world of acting and all that stuff.
When she was little and she asked, I'm going to be famous. One day people are going to go watch the movies. We started pulling out our home movies. And she said, you sillies, that is not what I mean. I actually mean people are going to pay money to see my movies. And we're like, we knew what you meant, but we didn't want to go down that route. So
right.
We figured, here's some movies. Eventually we did follow that path. And now she's just doing theater and she's doing high school. So we'll see where that takes us.
Yeah. Always interesting seeing where their interests go, the little kids,
100%, because I have my older daughter who's like, no, I'm not interested in it. I did it. I'm good for now. So I'm like, okay, just follow their passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me, who was the first person who believed in you when you decided to start a career in real estate?
Well, I would first say my wife, because that was a big transition, because also I never really had anybody I knew closely in real estate. It was just kind of similar to you. I left my profession mainly for my kids because, I listened to episode number 1 and you talking about, you were a teacher and all that.
Thank you.
Yes. And I had the similar path of like my wife and I both did TV news here in Reno, and we both were like, this isn't working, having a newborn. So I ended up deciding, okay, I'm going to exit this and go to real estate. And she was always very supportive, always like, you can absolutely do it. I'm fully behind you and all that jazz. So the news schedule was definitely tough, to stay in that career. So when I switched, she was the biggest kind of, inside supporter. And then the first external supporter in the real estate business was probably a good friend of mine that's a broker, Jen McDonald, who works at EXP now. But she was my first broker. She was the first person I interviewed with. I believe it was 3 or 4 brokerages before I decided where I was going. She was great and always very supportive and always ready to kind of answer any question I had, because anytime you're a new agent, you're going to have 1,000 questions. So you need to find somebody that is able to deal with that, because a lot of people are just too busy or don't want to take the time to kind of teach a new agent new things.
Sometimes we forget that we all started from zero.
Yes. Yeah. It's nice to find someone who can, answer the stupid questions, because trust me, I had hundreds of them.
I still do.
Yes.
Hey, why did you join the Sotheby's family?
Well, that actually was because of Jen. We switched from the brokerage we were at originally, and I kind of followed her and was under her when she went to Sotheby's. That's kind of how that transition happened. And then she ended up going to be a broker at another brokerage in town instead of just being a salesperson. So she was kind of all over the place for a couple years, but I decided to stay there just because I really like the brand and what we stand for, the customer service that is really a standard within not just Sierra Sotheby's in, Reno and Tahoe, but across the board, across the world with Sotheby's.
I agree with that. Okay. I have been listening to your own podcast.
Oh, geez.
I know. So take me back. I know you probably have four things that will be triggered right now by this question, but take me back to a time in which you were showing a house and a particular smell killed a deal. We have all walked through that house where the buyer says, get me out, or you can't breathe, or something happens.
Well, there's two memories that come to mind, and one is my very first listing. And all I will say is the owner was not the best at keeping up with her home or her dog. Let's just put it that way. And oh boy, that house I would love to go see that house now, since it's been 2.5 years since it was sold. But yeah, that was one that I will probably never forget when it comes to smells in a home. And the other was, honestly, the other memory that comes to mind is a buyer who really wanted this house we were in, but it wasn't a smell. It was just a feeling. The problem was it was the dead of summer here in Reno, and the AC was not on in this house. I don't know if it didn't work or if they just were cheap and didn't want to run it, but she literally didn't buy the house because we couldn't even stomach standing in there anymore. And she couldn't envision herself living there because we just didn't have the time, because we were both sweating bullets. Like, we got to get out of here. It was an oven. We had to go.
Sorry, no time to look at this house. It's too hot in here.
Yeah. And honestly, if it was 10 degrees cooler in there, she would have ended up buying that house, because she was literally, you could see after you're in this for a while, you can kind of see people's reaction, and you can see that look of like, oh, I really like this place. And that's exactly where she was. She started envisioning where her couch was going to go. And there was a weird flooring thing, and she was kind of talking through like how she could work around it. And then she was like, yeah, but we got to go. And I was like, okay. Like, she had decided mentally she could buy this place, but then the physical part of it, of us being just dripping with sweat, she was like, I got to go. So she didn't buy it. And it's a good example of when people are selling a house, don't go skimpy on the AC. Make it at least a little bit welcoming so people can have time to imagine themselves in that home, because that's what they have to do to potentially make an offer.
Especially when you're coming in from a hot day and you're looking into a home, that feeling you get when the AC is on and you just cross that threshold.
Oh, yeah. Like, comfort. This was exactly the opposite. No windows open. It was just a burner in there. It was like, we got to go. Oh, well, she's in a different condo now and couldn't be happier. So that's fine.
Found her right place either way.
Yeah. But I don't know if they ever sold that place. I have no idea.
Just got to go look it up. But the AC wasn't working. Okay. Now tell me, what's your favorite smell in a house?
Favorite smell? Maybe the only thing that comes to mind is probably that new carpet smell. It's similar to like a new car smell, but you can smell that, the glue from the carpet and all that. I'm not a big, if you do air fresheners, they can often be overpowering for me. So just that natural smell of either new paint or new carpet is really inviting. Of course, cookies would be nice and tasty too, but new house smells like paint and carpet are probably what come to mind.
Probably you could start making cookies right now. You just can't give them away.
Right. Yeah. No COVID. No COVID cookies for me.
No cookies. Thank you. Just eat them through our nose.
Yes.
Hey, tell me, how do you get a house ready for the market?
Well, that one, it's tricky because it's different for every client, but basically the generics of that would be, number one, to make sure the house is kind of clutter ready. In other words, have the homeowners cleared enough of the home to make it inviting for somebody else. And then the standard, photography, listing on MLS, make sure we've got all the systems go for the behind the scenes to get it on the Sotheby's syndicate sites and all that jazz. The biggest things for me are to make sure that as much of the clutter stuff can go and anything personal. And basically, I just send like an ABC list of A's being the priority, B's kind of like, if you have time to get around to it, and C's are like, we probably won't get around to this, but it's like a wish list, and then rank them based on like, living room. A1 may be, clear coffee table of all clutter except these two items or whatever. And then basically send them a long list that is basically a to-do list for them to kind of accomplish